Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this tutorial. My name is Juggernaut. Vampires the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 released just a few hours ago at the time of recording, and it came out without an FOV slider. Now, if you're anything like me, you get horrible motion sickness, headaches, and generally have this urge to puke whenever the FOV of a game is around 70 or so, less. Not even, I don't even need to talk about anything less than that, but if you want to change it, it's not a difficult process, but it's not an option within the game. Now, personally, I think this is beyond unacceptable, but the game has other problems as well, not just the FOV slider. More on that in a future video that I will do, but for now, let me show you how to actually mod the game so that you can increase the FOV, and it'll also, as a bonus, give you some other options you can play around with, cheats and stuff like that, if you want to, of course. So, first and foremost, what you're going to need is this. You're going to need this mod. This mod is called Simple Mod Loader. The screenshot for it is Blueprint Mod Loader. I will leave a link to this mod's download page in the description down below. It is on Nexus. You are going to need to register an account here if you don't have one. It's a fairly simple process, and then all you do is manually download the loader. You will not need the mod manager that comes with the Nexus website, which is Vortex, or any other mod manager, for now at least, if you want to mod the game in the future, and, well, if there's other things you want to do in terms of mods for this game, you know, there's separate videos addressing that, but for now you're just going to need to manually download this, and what you're going to get is this. Well, at least it should be. Currently, it's 3 of these files, so 1 pack file and 2 of these other types of files. They're all SML files, and there's 3 of them. Now, it's very important that I highlight that there is 3 of them, because in the README file, it says there should be 4. No, there should be 3. There are also these 2 text files, which I don't think you technically need, but don't worry about it, we'll just copy all of this and make things as simple as possible. So, once you download the zip file, I recommend you extract it with either WinRAR or 7-zip or something like that, and you want to grab all of these and you want to copy them. Now, where do we copy them to? Well, for that we're going to go over onto our Steam library. And in the Steam library, locally installed, at least that's how I have it filtered here, you're going to find Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. You're going to right-click, go to Manage, and then Browse Local Files. Alternatively, you can manually go into wherever your game is installed. Usually it's somewhere within one of your drives. Program Files 86, Steam, Steam Apps Common, Bloodlines 2, but it doesn't have to be like this. For me, it's on the C drive. It will be different for you up here, obviously. Or it may not, you know, it depends, but what's important is that you get to this point, right? Once here, you go into Bloodlines 2, you go into Content, and then you go into Packs. That's Packs with a K. Now, Packs has most of the files that the game actually needs to run, believe it or not. This one is 25 gigabytes. Here, you're going to create a folder called Mods. Now, you don't actually need to do this. You can just right-click and paste all of the files that we just copied, remember, from the Simple Mod Loader, and you can put them in here. But if you ever want to remove the mod loader, it's going to be a lot easier if you create a new folder called Mods and just paste everything in there. And that's it. You're done. Well, Juggernaut, how does that change my FOV? What does it change it to? I will show you, dear viewer. This essentially enables you to open the console, which allows you to play with a plethora of things. In fact, keep it in the editor. These are all the things that you can play around with. Excuse me as I just close this down very quickly. These are all the different commands you have. Well, these are some of the commands you have. There's a few more that aren't listed here, but yeah. You can play around with all of this, including Demigod, Death, Invisible, Ninja, Silent, etc, etc. There's a few cheats in here, if you want to use them. If not, let's go over to the game and actually show you how to change the FOV now that we've installed this mod, which is a prerequisite, so to speak. So, we launch the game. Here's the Paradox Launcher. Why it's using the Paradox Launcher is beyond me. It's another criticism of the game I have, but never mind. We click play. And yes, I am using FSR4 for the game, and it performs relatively well. Now, you should see Simple Mod Loader, a little small white text in the bottom left corner of the screen. It should say bottom, the version that you have loaded, it should say what it is up there. If it doesn't, maybe it just loads too quickly, you don't need to worry about it. The big test, sorry for the voice crack, I'm recording this at like 4 AM in the morning. I want to get this video out as soon as possible because I know people are suffering from the lack of FOV options. What you do then is you load into the game and you click the tilde key. Now, where's the tilde key, I get asked so often in the comments section. On most standard US keyboards, it should be left of the number 1 key. Sometimes it looks like an apostrophe, sometimes it looks like the actual mathematical symbol called tilde, right? It's like kind of looks like a wave. Some of the older generations probably know it as the console key, because this is what we use to open consoles in like 99% of games. And it should open. Now, if you do not have a standard US keyboard, I don't know how to open it. Alt-1-2, Alt-2-1 were some of the options back in other Paradox games. Maybe it'll work here as well. It's difficult to say, but if you don't have a standard US keyboard, you might want to try and look up how you generally open consoles in other games. It should probably work the same. It could be some other key. So here you type in FOV, and then the desired number. For me, it's going to be 100 at least. And there you go. You now have an FOV of 100, and I can now actually play the game without puking. Like I said, for me, this was absolutely horrible, and I'm going to stay away from there because there's a plot point over there that gets revealed, and I don't want to spoil anything about the game, but yeah, you can also change it to like 120 if you wish. This is a bit too much for me. You can also change it to 90, which I think most people prefer. You also notice that there are 2 types of consoles. You can use either one for changing the FOV. And that's about it. That's how you change the FOV in the game. The fact that it came out without the option to do so is unforgivable, in my modest opinion, especially in today's day and age, especially given the fact that the game has such a low FOV to begin with. It really made me sick. It gave me a headache, and I played it for like 30 minutes or so, and I had to stop because I literally felt ill. I suffer from this quite a lot. I know there are other people who suffer from it quite a bit. Some people just find it annoying, but there you go. That's the video. That's how you do it. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed it, and share it around with people that are struggling with the same thing. Also, it helps out the channel quite a bit. As for the game itself, I will make a little preview / first impressions video on it, because I haven't completed the game yet, obviously. It's only been out for a few hours, but I'm not loving it, is all I'm going to say as a sort of sneak peek into that video, but subscribe if you want to, if you're interested in hearing more about that, I suppose. That's it for now. If you have any questions, any problems installing the mod, getting any of this to work, please feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and I will help out each and every one of you to the best of my abilities. Have fun, take care, and watch out for the vampires.